Don Bodan from SampleLibraryReview.com, and I'm very excited. Today we're going to be checking out Hyperion Brass Elements by Soundiron. Soundiron continues their Hyperion series, this time pointing their microphones at chamber brass instruments, recording again at Studio A, Fantasy Studios in Berkeley, California. Hyperion Brass installs as 4.7 gigabytes using lossless compression from 10.2 gigabytes of WAV files. It's a chamber brass sample library recorded in Studio A, Fantasy Studios in Berkeley, California, with 6 trumpets, 4 tenor trombones, 4 French horns, 3 euphoniums, 3 bass trombones, and 3 tubas. The library comes with 10 ensemble patches, 6 master and true legato section presets. For articulations, they've got a pretty good range here with sustains, true legatos, flutter tongues, staccatos, double and triple tongue dynamic expression, with multi-dynamic long and short staccatos, staccatissimo, with loose and tight variants, as well as a suite of expression articulations with crescendos, decrescendos, sforzandos, swells, with time stretching and tempo syncing. On top of that, library gives us soundstage positioning with custom rooms, halls, chambers, and effects, play assist, and an arpeggio system. Now this library loads right into your libraries tab for the free Contact Player version 6. It's also complete control and NKS compatible. Normally sells for $99 on a special deal of a price, $79 until September 28th, 2021. Now, one other note here, if you do pick up Hyperion Brass Elements, you'll get the full amount credited towards an upgrade to the future full Hyperion Symphonic Brass release. I'll include a link to take you straight over to Hyperion Brass by Soundiron in the description below. Okay, I have got Hyperion Brass Elements right here. It's a Contact Player instrument, loads right into your Libraries tab, compatible with the free Contact Player. And I don't know if you guys have heard the demos or saw the walkthrough videos on this, but I am loving the sound of what they've done with this. Let's jump into something fun. I'm just going to randomly poke around in this first look, listening to instruments. Let's start with horns, true legato patch. I'm going to mute my mic, just play it out of the box, and we'll see what we get. Play around a little bit from there. Pretty nice sound out of the gate there. I really am loving how much brassy bite is in this instrument. Now, I like the sound. It loads up with a space here, and there's tons of presets. Let's just listen to a couple of these. Let's listen to Bright Room. So much expressiveness in this range. I really love these dynamic layers. Let's listen to let's just try some of these presets. I haven't listed them all. It's a little bit more sound designy. That one as well. That one's called Ghost Vocals. It's weird. It actually sounds like there's a choir kind of singing along with you there. Let's listen to this Brass Hall 2. Okay, quick look at those true legato horns. I'm liking the sound of those a lot. And then let's take a look at the master patch here. And I believe this is what's going to give us a treat of articulations. All of our key switching is done down here. Let me make sure I'm in the right spot for these. There we go. So here we got sustain dynamics. Multi-staccato dynamics. And this is all playing through that void preset. I'm going to go back to that bright room. I really like this one. Yeah, really nice crossfades across the dynamics for that one. Double tongues. Crescendos. And what's nice about these is the crescendo does have baked-in controls with your mod wheel to control your dynamics, the height of your dynamics. So if I go here, it's warm, but not too brassy. Right there. And now you can see we've got all kinds of controls here. Variable speed, normal, and then sync to tempo. Let's continue on. I like how they've divided these up between short decrescendos and crescendos, high decrescendos, crescendos high. Ooh, a little sforzando, short sforzandos, swells. Short swells. And again, your top dynamic level is controlled by your mod wheel, which is really nice. Let's jump in and look at the trumpet. I've got the master trumpet on. We'll listen to the true legatos in a minute. So just with our master trumpet, we've got some different articulations. That's kind of nice, lots of bite to that. Now, there's also an arpeggiator on this thing with different modes. Run mode, trill mode. That's pretty cool. And the thing that I do like about what's going on with this is it's got a very lifelike feel. It doesn't, even with a chord and playing this articulation, it doesn't sound like a robot. I can hear different notes playing slightly different times. There's also, of course, all the programming for up and down. And just doing something like this, I've already got lots of ideas of what ways maybe I would write or change the way that I was playing. Another thing to kind of look at in the instrument is they've got a play assist. Basically, right now, I'm going to turn the arpeggio off. Right now, we've got full chromatic access, but at any time we can turn play assist on and only play in the key we've decided to play in. This way it'll keep you in the key you'd like, and that can be helpful for some uses, especially if you want to start to play around with modes, whole tones, and you're just not familiar with it. All right, I changed up our hall, and now we're going to listen through, continuing on these articulations. And again, those articulations vary. You could change your playback speed for all of these dynamics with the swells, decrescendos, crescendos. That's really nice. Now we can change our articulations from this point here, or if we clicked on it, we can actually change it from this point here. Right now we're using dynamics with our mod wheel, but there's a velocity sensitivity as well. So if you want to play with velocity sensitivity, let's go ahead and jump over to the trumpet true legatos and just kind of hear this guy in action. Now, what's nice about this is because it is in a studio, got a really nice sound that I think will translate well into almost any kind of room if you've got multiple developers' instruments. I'm leaning in on this bright room right now. Real nice trumpet sound with the bright room. Let's check out a couple other rooms. So you get pretty wacky, and you can see you can even change your position. And this is so cleanly programmed. A lot of times on a contact instrument, once they've created this positioning, as you move it, you'll hear it like breaking apart or something. This is just a really clean sound moving from front to back. I don't know why we would ever move it in real time, but you've got that option. Let's move along, shall we? Let's check out some instruments dear and true to my heart. Trombones and euphoniums. We've got a nice range. Here's the bass trombone. Listen to that. Let's get a different space going on. Let's play with the that bright room. Now, one thing you'll notice is that the way this one's loaded up, we've got true legato with the full dynamic range. And that range is controlled by a mod wheel. They do also supply us with true legato piano, mezzo forte, and forte. So if you just want to have loud articulations loaded up, you can. It's a lot of nice bite in that one. Let's move on to the section of bass, trombone, euphonium, trombone, and trumpet. Kind of cool. They've got this divided up. You can see we've got control over our ensembles. Right now we've got bass bones playing in these keys, euphoniums playing in this area, tenor trombones, and trumpets here. Now we can actually control these, move them around, stretch it down as far as it'll go, up or down, and have control over the volume level, because we know trumpets are just going to be a little more blasty in the high pitch range. Trying to balance it across the keyboard gives us a lot of controls here. There's a number of other ensembles here. Let's check out this one, which is tubas, bass trombones, tenor trombones, and trumpet. Yeah, that's a really nice sound. This one's just loading up with the algorithmic verb setup. Just a tiny bit of compression, a little bit of EQ, and the ensemble. You can see the tubas, bass bones, trombones, trumpets spaced across there. And you still have your control with mod wheel for dynamics. But on this, because it's a multi-articulation instrument, they've got the velocity sensitivity as well. Let's check out Euphonium True Legato. Fun fact here, I have got 7 years of euphonium experience under my belt. Shout out to any of you guys playing in concert bands or marching bands. Tell me what instrument you played if you were a brass player. Okay, something funky happened. It looks like we're loading up with our arpeggiator on. Unless I hit a weird button. There we go. True Legato, dynamic layer. Let's hear this in a different space. Let's try Brass Hall 1. Yeah, really warm sound to that. And I like putting him a little further in the back, because you know, if you're a euphonium player, you're in the back of the room, my friends. Let's move on. Let's check out the Tenor Trombone True Legato patch. I really like some of the little legato transition there. Hear a little bit of lipping. Slowed up the tenor trombone master patch. I am loving the Staccattissimos that they've provided. I'm big on big splats, big brassy splats, and I haven't even put it in that room I've been kind of leaning towards. The Brass Hall 1 or the Bright Room. Yeah, the difference between the staccatos and staccattissimos, that's the kind of extreme detail I want when I'm changing from staccato to staccatissimo. A lot of libraries, you just don't quite get that much of a change. Really liking this dynamic control with the mod wheel as I would want it, as I would normally think about it, but being able to control the perceived volume, I believe, of all these dynamic swells, crescendos, decrescendos with that mod wheel as well. I don't need it always to bite. I just want a little bit of whoa. All right, we got a couple more patches I want to check out. We can't pass on without listening to our tubas. And let's put him, I think he sits over here. Is that right? Let's go ahead and check out the Tuba Master Patch with all the articulations. And controls for these lengthwise, variable, normal, or sync. All of these dynamics, I love what they've done with these. Let's check out low brass ensemble. Let's see what we got. Tubas, bass bones, euphoniums, and trombones. Oh, trumpets. Well, let's load them up. I'll turn those trumpets off, or I just won't play in that range. See what kind of oomph we can get out of our Staccatissimo. Okay, I think what I'm looking for is maybe this guy. Oh, there's trumpets in that. What I'm actually looking for is just a low brass one, and tuba, horn, trumpet. Yep, they've just got trumpet across the top. So they're programming these more like a brass section than individual high, mid, or low brass. And that's kind of what I was thinking I would do, is just play with the low brass there. Let's listen to the one with the horn in it. We haven't heard any ensembles with the horn, just to hear how they've got that blending. Now, I'm going to turn the trumpets off because I kind of have an important thought as I'm listening to this ensemble. We got bass trombones, euphoniums, and horns. Euphoniums is a very round sound. Bass trombones got a lot of bite, Horns can have a lot of bite. If I just turn off these two, you can hear the transition between. Let's spread these across. Now I got horns and brass trombones, bass trombones playing at the same time. If I just turn that on middle section for the euphoniums, maybe it'll warm it up a little bit, give us even more depth. Yeah, it just fills it out really nicely. Staccatissimos. I'm going to wrap things up here in this first look. I feel like I've just touched the surface of what Hyperion Brass Elements has to offer with the spaces, the way they've designed it to move your instruments around on here. This is really cool. I think this would be something that will help you to craft a very specific or unheard kind of ensemble. You may be able to also emulate all kinds of ranges of ensembles, from very trailer, brassy sounds to more vintage, like sounds that we've heard from like the 50s and those kind of recordings. With the ensembles, I can see how this would be a great sketching tool. However, in my opinion, the cream of the crops are the individual ensemble sections themselves. The brass bass trombones, horns, the trumpets, they all have so much bite, such a great sound in the room. And then with the tenor trombones, euphoniums, and tubas, I think that's going to add even more warmth, more depth, and adding them in an ensemble mode, as we just did, what I heard is that those instruments are going to blend and beef up your ensembles in a way that you might not think about doing unless you are a seasoned orchestrator or have played in a brass ensemble and heard how brass ensembles work together to integrate the brighter, brassier tones and the fortes with those brassy instruments versus the warm, rounded tones of the other instruments that I mentioned. The Play Assist is really cool. I think this will be helpful for those learning modes, wanting to get a little better feel, and maybe those just poking around, trying to experiment, find some inspiration. There's tons of other settings we didn't even talk about on these controls. Having a vibrato control right there, map that to a MIDI CC, you can get even more expressiveness out of those legato instruments. The arpeggiator is cool, and at first I thought, why would you add an arpeggiator? But just playing with it a little bit, it has such a lifelike human quality. Playing 2 or 3 notes, you're not becoming robotic like an arpeggiator would normally lend itself to. You've got a humanized factor in here, but even with it all the way down, when I was playing with the trumpets, I still could hear distinctly different hits from 3 trombone parts, which would be the trombone section 3 times over. Meaning maybe there's a way to program this to get a different part than you would have imagined, or some inspiration that you wouldn't have thought of. Big takeaway here for me is I love the sound they've got, the brassiness of a lot of these instruments, that splat, and then the rounded warmness. Now, these are chamber instruments in a studio, and because of that, you're going to have an infinite amount of control over what room you put them in, what kind of effects you add, and just such flexibility. I think my tagline for this is that Soundiron proves that flexibility and budget don't have to limit you with brass libraries. Hyperion Brass Elements, thumbs up for me. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please comment below. Tell me what you think about the library. A $79 brass library doing all this. The contact player instrument. What do you think? Let me know what your thoughts are below. Thanks for hanging out with me here today. If you like the channel, please subscribe, like, share this video, and come back around on Fridays for our weekly Deal Compressor show, where we recap the latest news, new releases, and special sales going on across our industry.